So hello friends, welcome to my channel Generative AI Unplugged, where we will be deep diving into the latest trends in the generative AI world, and also you will be getting a lot of tutorials. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe this channel for more inputs and stay tuned. So today we will be continuing our model context protocol demo session. So earlier, I provided a video for part one where we deep dived into what is model context protocol, a complete overview of what all things you need to learn about model context protocol, which was developed by Anthropic. And we already have the part one of the video where we did a demo of how you can use MCP protocols with pre-built MCP servers. Now in this video, we will be continuing in order to show you how you can build your own MCP servers and then connect it with a client like Claude, or you can also use Cursor. Okay, so both examples we'll be looking into this video. Okay, so let's get started. So the projects which we'll be working today are mainly four projects. There is custom greeting, where we'll be developing a application where if we say hi or a hello, we will get a greeting from our MCP server. Okay. The second one will be file system stats. So we can provide a prompt to provide us with the file system information regarding the files on our system, the size of those files, and various other metrics which we'll be able to get using the MCP server. The third would be saving the chat conversation locally in our file system. So as you have seen that Claude doesn't have an interface where all the things, all the communication, what you have done, or the conversations you have done with Claude IDE. So Claude doesn't provide a way by which you can store this information into your local file system, say in a text file. So we can prepare a file system MCP server which will take the chat uh, in this session. Okay, so all the chats, and then it will be able to save those chats into the text file locally. And the last example will be a PDF summarizer. So we can have a PDF and ask Claude to summarize it whenever we provide a context or a question which matches our keywords, which we will be configuring in our MCP server. Okay, so let's get started. All right. So the first example which we will be going through is basically the greetings. So as you see here, uh, first we are going to import the MCP module from the MCP server fast MCP, and then we are going to create an object called MCP from the fast MCP function. And the fast MCP will basically provide a greeting server. Now, greeting server here is basically the name of our MCP server. Then we are configuring a tool. So we define it as mcp.tool, and we attach it a function like def greets, which will basically take a name argument, which is a string, and this function will also output a string. The next important thing is that we have to provide the doc string. So this is the real important thing which is very necessary to design, because I've seen that if you are not giving good doc strings, so the MCP, so the LLM like Claude or any other LLM, when they process your text, basically your question, okay, so they need a way to choose the right tool. So they rely on this doc string. So they process this doc string, and then they are able to understand that, okay, for this question I need to use this specific MCP tool. So doc strings are very important, and you can have a format which is understandable to the LLM. For instance, for greetings, I have written respond with a personalized greeting when the user says hi, hello, or any other greeting. And this tool should be called when user initiates a conversation with a greeting such as hi, hello, good morning, good evening, or similar phrases. And the parameters will be the name of the person to greet, and the returns will be a greeting message including the person's name. Okay, and I have also given some examples. An ideal when the conversation starts or when the user expects a friendly reply. Okay, so this is my doc string, and then in this function I'm just returning, okay, hello, the name of the person which Claude will supply in the argument, and then you are saying how are you today, and that's it. So this is our first greetings example. And now, in order to have Claude, we need to understand or use this tool, we need to register into the Claude configuration. Okay. So there is a file as mentioned in the last. Okay. So first of all, let me open Claude. All right. So the Claude is open. And since I've already configured my configuration, so I will just show you, you can follow along. So you have to go to developer. First you have to go to settings, then you have to go to developer. And in developer, as you see, we have these four examples which we will be showcasing in this video. So you also have the greetings server. And if I just see what is in my Claude desktop configuration, so you see that, okay, this is the JSON which we explained earlier. So you have the MCP servers, and then inside MCP server, the greeting server is what we already configured here. So we gave the name of our MCP server as greeting server. So here we have two arguments to supply. So one is a command, and the second one is the args, which is arguments. In the command, we are directly using Python. So we are giving the full path of our Python executable, and then we also are giving the in the arguments we are giving what file we have to execute. Okay, basically our greetings.python file. And similarly for other MCP servers which we will be using in this demo session, I've already added the same in this file, and they also have the similar format. So you have a command and then you have an argument. So basically it's saying that, okay, Python, and what is your Python file. Okay, so this is a simple way to invoke or run this file from Claude desktop. Okay, and now if we go back to Claude, we see that, okay, these MCP servers are already registered as. So basically what Claude did is it went and it read this Claude desktop JSON, and it was able to see that, okay, we already have these. Now let's go get into the demo. So now if I say hello to Claude, so I believe that it should invoke our tool. So let's wait and watch. It didn't. So I have to say that, okay, hello, or say, let me try with good morning. So, okay, so with good morning, it was able to invoke this tool, and it is asking me for the permission to use the greeting servers tool. I will say yes, and it will go to my function and it will greet me. It's taking some time. All right, so you have the response. So if you see carefully, the response was hello there, how are you today? And uh, this is the same string which we are returning from this function. So hello, how are you today? Okay, so as you see here, it is able to provide me with this specific string. The next part is the report file stats tool. Okay, so now when we are going to have this function usable is when we have a specific directory, and we want to know that, okay, what are the file statistics, like the so here as you see, um, I have given that, okay, I need the size of all the files, and to provide it as a summary, and also I want to basically get the size in megabytes format. So the layout of this specific function is very simple. So here, once we basically have our file system report server registered, then we use an MCP tool, and this is our function. Here I have given that, okay, generate a report of the file types and their sizes in megabytes within a folder recursively, and this specific directory is the one which I have to give to Claude, and the Claude will then pass this as an argument to this function and will execute this specific function. Okay, so now let's go back to Claude, and then let's ask it that, okay, please provide me with the file stats for the folder C YouTube. Okay, so I have a file called C YouTube. So now it will ask me for the permission to use this function called file type report. I will say okay, and now it will traverse the directory. It will find all the files as you see here, and now it is giving me the file sizes by type. So I have this mp4, and so what are the extension of these files, and for each extension what is the file size. Okay, so this is how it was able to access the file system and compute the statistics and then provide that information here. Okay, so now let's go to the next topic. So the next topic is that, okay, save the chat session. So this is a function, or this is the file which provides us like how we will be able to implement a conversation saver. So here it is the same layout. So we have the fast MCP function. We are giving it our MCP server name, then we are defining this tool called save conversation. Now this conversation is basically the complete chat session text which Claude will provide to this function as a string, and then it will also output a string. So here the doc string is very detailed. So it saves a conversation string to a text file on the user desktop, and this tool takes the entire conversation content as input and create a timestamped text file that with that content, and the file is stored on the current user desktop in a human readable format. And this is useful for storing the transcripts, logs, summaries, or other user sessions for future reference. And the argument, as I said, is a conversation which is a string, and also it returns a string. So as you see here, I'm using doc desktop path, where I'm using os.path.nom path, and then I'm expanding the home desktop. So this will basically expand it to a full path, and I'm also using a timestamp, and then I'm joining the desktop path with Claude chat timestamp. So this file will be saved as Claude chat and the timestamp.txt. And here this is important because since it's a Windows system, so we have to have the double front slashes. Okay, and then we are opening the file, and then we are writing it basically the complete chat session into this specific file. Okay, so let's try this out. So we go back to Claude. As you see here, we already have this function called save conversation, and this is the doc string. So now we say that, okay, save the conversation. Now Claude should understand that, okay, it needs to use a tool which I have already registered in the MCP server configuration. So now it was able to invoke this tool, and I will give it the permission. Now it will try to get the complete data so far, whatever it has been able to, I mean, whatever we were chatting with Claude, it should save the entire communication into a text file. Okay, so it got into some error. I apologize for the current desktop part to save the file. Let me try one more time. Okay, let's give it another try. Okay, so I guess it is facing some error. Anyhow, Okay, maybe there is some permission error or something, but I was able to execute the same thing in my cursor IDE and it was working fine. So maybe with Claude, there is a way by which Claude accesses some permissions on the folder. So I will move on to the next um, project, but I will show the same example in the cursor IDE. Okay. So let's get back to our um, next project, which is the PDF reader. So the PDF reader is an interesting point, and it's an interesting project. So PDF reader is an interesting project where we are having a PDF reader server, MCP server, okay, and then we register a tool called read PDF text, and we say that okay, fetch the contents from the attention is all you need PDF for the transformer model queries, and we are giving the query to, or basically the question whatever we are asking to Claude. The Claude will then provide this as an argument to this specific function, and it will return the extracted text as a string along with the query. So here I am giving the complete path of the attention is all you need, basically the famous transformer architecture paper which you can see here. So this already has the PDF file, and I have given it the complete path. And then I'm opening the file, then I'm using PyPDF2 Python module in order to read the text, and then I am extracting the pages, and after that I am appending them into this. So I'm using a prompt. So in the return, I'm using a prompt which I'm again providing it to Claude. So I'm saying that okay, using the fetch text from the PDF file. So I'm giving the path and content. Now this text variable has the complete contents which are extracted from this paper, and then I'm giving it a query back. Okay, so I'm looping back the query and I'm asking it, okay, now please answer based on the content above. So now what happens is that Claude will be able to have the context, which is basically the all attention is all you need, the complete textual information from this paper, and will be able to generate the answer what I'm asking. Okay, so let's get back to Claude and ask, can you tell me about the transformer architecture using, let's first ask it, okay, can you tell me about the transformer architecture? So if it is okay, so I don't know why it didn't even bother to give me the answer. So let me try it with can you tell me about the transformer architecture using the PDF? So since I've given it PDF, so I hope that Claude should be able to provide that information. But somehow, while working with Claude, I face this problem that although I have given the doc string, but Claude was not able to invoke the tool or recognize the tool. Okay, so let me give it another try, but with a different prompt. Okay, let me know about the transformer model architecture, use the tool. So let's see, I've explicitly mentioned it to use the tool, and still I don't have that information. Okay, so let's see if the same thing can be executed in cursor. So let's get back to cursor. So here we have the cursor. I have the same folder open here. Okay, and for cursor, in order to register our configuration for the MCP servers, it's very easy. So you have to go to settings, and in settings you have this MCP option, and inside this, since as you see that we already have the four example servers what we have added here. What you need to do is, if you're using it, I'm doing it from the beginning, so you have to just click this, that is the add the global configuration, and you have to just add this structure which was now this is the same as what we defined in the Claude configuration desktop. Okay, it's the same thing. So now this is what is required. Now let's go back to greetings. Okay, and now we will ask in the chat window, hi, and let's see what information it generates. So as you see here, it was able to detect that I already have an MCP tool called greets. Okay, this is the function, and it is asking me to invoke it. So when I say run tool, it will be providing me the greetings from that specific tool. I noticed implements a greeting server. Would you like to explore more about? Okay, so it was able to greet me. Now, since this specific string which I am giving back to cursor, okay, so the LLM, so it's using GPT 4.0. So the LLM can provide you any kind of return message, because this is just a context, but it is providing me a very detailed information about, like, hello, I see you are working with MCP protocol, and I noticed you have a greetings.py that implements a simple greeting server. So it was able to basically manipulate the return string and provide me with a much more detailed uh, question or an information. Okay, so now let's go to our next project file what we were using, which is basically for the file stats report. So here I will give it the same prompt. Please provide the file stats for the folder C YouTube. And again, so as you see here, it was able to again ask me the permissions to run the tool. So when I run the tool, it will quickly give me the summary of all the file types and their sizes in my YouTube folder. So as you see, it is much faster than Claude, because Claude took almost like 5 to 6 seconds in order to give the same information. Okay, now let's go to our save chat session. So in save chat session, as you see that we want to save and the entire conversation what we were having into a text file on our local file system. So we already created the save conversation tool, and this should be called from cursor. So when you say save the conversation, and then it will be able to detect that, okay, it has to use a tool, and it's identified save conversation, this function or this tool, and then it will try to access this, and the conversation is now saved to this specific folder. So let's directly go to the folder, and we see that, okay, we have the entire conversation which is basically saved from cursor. Okay, so now let's go to the next program, and let's get back to our final PDF session. So the PDF reader.py, here if I ask that, okay, give me information about the the transformer model architecture. So it was able to detect here quickly that, okay, I am it has to use a tool, and it was able to understand that, okay, this read PDF text which you have defined is the one. So when I run the tool, it should be able to give this, and yes, so it was able to read the complete PDF, and it was able to give me this information. So I can even ask that, okay, provide me a summary about the transformer architecture, say in say 50 words. And since it already had cached in this information, so it was able to provide this summary quickly. Okay, so this is how we were able to use these four example projects in order to showcase our uh, implementation of MCP servers. So how can you build a custom MCP server directly using your Python files? So thank you for watching this video, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, so please subscribe, like and subscribe the channel, and stay tuned. We will be getting back with more such interesting videos in the next sessions.